All right, everyone. My name is Ryan Ingram, and today we're here to talk about unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs. UAVs have already taken the skies for years, but they aren't only on every kid's wish list for Santa. They're also impacting all the major players in aviation. By 2021, consumer drone shipments will hit 29 million, and commercial drone shipments will hit 805,000. Because of this growth in UAVs, the aviation industry must all begin to implement UAVs in order to remain successful. The five main points are the commercial segment, increased production of drones, military sales, businesses needing cost-effective solutions, and the FAA raising restrictions. First and foremost, the commercial segment, which is the fastest growing for UAVs. It's fastest growing for a whole lot of reasons. Obviously, the drones have kind of proven themselves in the military market. Now they're beginning to be used in the commercial market, primarily for construction, agriculture, insurance, infrastructure inspections, as well as things like land surveying, even finding fish for commercial fishing industry, and several other aspects as well. The increased production of drones is due to the cheaper cost of flying UAVs. Honestly, as soon as you cut out fuel, the extra manning for the larger platforms and the manned assets, there's less training required. There's a whole lot of cost-saving entities there. In many cases, they can even be more reliable. You have less chance for human error because a lot of things are automated where they wouldn't normally be, and that kind of cuts out the need for training on certain things, as well as the potential for human error. So it does make UAVs more reliable in many instances, as well as more capable. UAVs are generally able to fly longer periods of time in more austere conditions than a manned platform is able to do. Military sales. The U.S. currently has 11,000 drones in use. 80 countries worldwide also use drones. Military sales are a large profit for many corporations, as well as military funding pays for a lot of corporations' research. A big part with that is all this different military funding. You always hear on the news about how one company or another isn't doing very well with the project, and how an insane amount of money has been dumped into that project by the government, which is just a primary example of the military funding a lot of corporations' research. For myself, I fly drones out here in Afghanistan every single day. I've done it for over 6 years, and I personally can attest to what we're able to do when we are out there flying missions, and how many lives are truly saved every day. The impact is extremely significant, and we're able to do some really cool stuff on missions, and ultimately, every day we're out there flying missions, we're able to save people's lives and prevent bad things from happening. Businesses need cost-effective solutions. Businesses are always looking for a way to save money. They're always looking for a way to be more efficient, and drones are definitely part of that. Drones are cheaper than manned aircraft, as discussed earlier. They can save a lot of time. They save money for the manpower, smaller crews. You don't need as many pilots. You don't need as many ground crew members. You don't need as many people, scheduling and everything in the office as well. As well as the data can normally be processed faster. A lot of times the data can be processed faster than manned aircraft because you're already pumping all that information down to computers on the ground in order to fly these things from the computers. So a lot of times that data can be processed and put out to the customer in a more timely manner than a manned asset. The FAA is also raising restrictions. Drones have become too popular to ignore at this point, essentially. Restrictions are starting to be lifted. There's several companies in North Texas that I'm aware of that have already been licensed for small UAS or unmanned aerial systems, not the larger ones as of yet. The larger ones are primarily only in military airspace at this time. But the corporate licenses are beginning to be approved. The FAA is also reviewing all regulations to allow commercial UAV usage from small to large, you name it. It was initially supposed to be done by 2015. Now it's obviously much later than that, and it still isn't complete. But all the rules are starting to change. They have a lot of experts in there working on how to best suit all that with major airports and stuff like that, and how we can operate in those kind of areas. So basically, to recap, the commercial segment, which is just blowing up in an insane amount right now, the increased production of drones, military sales being a major factor, businesses needing cost-effective solutions, and the FAA raising restrictions, allowing wider use of UAVs. So at the end of the day, I believe all aviation businesses must begin to implement UAVs in order to remain successful. I think it's very crucial in today's marketplace and the aviation industry as a whole, and honestly in all of our career paths, seeing as we're all going to an aviation-related university. Don't you want to be a part of the bigger picture when the future of commercial aviation fills the skies with UAVs? I know I do. Thank you all for listening. Hope everyone has a great day. Appreciate your time.